All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a question I know a ton of golfers are asking themselves. Is it finally time to upgrade that old driver? We're going to put a brand new driver up against a modern legend to see if all this new tech really makes a difference. Is newer truly better? Let's find out. So let's get right to the heart of this. Because the TaylorMade SIM2 Max, it's not just some random old driver. This thing has a serious cult following. I mean, you hear it from club fitters all the time. Guys who play this club just will not get it out of their bag, no matter what. And that right there sets up our big showdown. In one corner, you've got the beloved SIM2 Max from 2021, that's our legend. And in the other corner, the brand spanking new Qi35 Max, our challenger. So the real question is, right, has the tech actually come far enough in the last few years to finally maybe convince those loyalists to make a change? Okay, so every good showdown needs its competitors. Let's dig in and meet the legend and the challenger. So first up, the legend, the SIM2 Max. You gotta remember, when this thing came out, it was hailed as one of the most forgiving drivers TaylorMade had ever made. It has that forgiveness, but it also has that classic titanium face feel that a lot of, purists really love. And that's exactly why so many golfers still swear by it today. And then you've got the challenger, the Qi35 Max. This is TaylorMade's latest and greatest. The company is basically saying, hey, we took that legacy of forgiveness and we just cranked it up to 11 with all our newest tech. The promise is pretty simple. Everything you loved about the old one, but even better. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What's actually different under the hood here? What really separates a few generations of R&D? So when you look at these two side by side, a couple of massive differences just pop right out. First, the face material. The SIM2 Max has that classic titanium face we all know, but the new Qi35, it's all about that modern carbon face. And second, just the physical footprint. The Qi35 has a noticeably larger, kind of fatter head shape. It's really designed to give you more confidence when you're standing over the ball. And this carbon face, this is really the engine of the new driver. Just think about it for a second. Carbon is way, way lighter than titanium. So what does that let the engineers do? Well, they can pull a ton of weight out of the face and move it around to other strategic spots in the head. And what's the goal? To create a driver that's not just faster on your good swings, but also way more stable and forgiving when you miss. But look, all these claims, they don't mean a thing if they don't hold up in the real world, right? And since new tech affects different players in different ways, we really need to see how these drivers perform for two totally distinct types of golfers. So we're going to break down the data through the eyes of two different players. First up, you've got the skilled player. Think single-digit handicap, pretty consistent, finds the center of the face a lot, and really values that traditional look and feel. And then you've got the average amateur golfer. Let's be honest, that's most of us, right? A double-digit handicap who might hit it all over the face and frankly needs all the help they can get. All right, here we go. This is the moment of truth. Let's see what the numbers actually say, and we're going to start with the one thing that matters most to the vast majority of us, forgiveness. Think about it. Anyone can pure one every now and then, but a driver's real value, the reason you shell out the big bucks, is what it does when you don't hit it perfectly. How does it save you on your misses? And man, the data here tells a really, really clear story. When you look at every single shot, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the new Qi35 was just flat out more consistent. You see, forgiveness isn't just some marketing buzzword. It shows up right here in the numbers. The Qi35 had a tighter shot pattern, it held onto its ball speed way better on misses, and it cut down on that nasty, high, slicey spin that kills so many drives. Okay, so the Qi35 is the clear winner on forgiveness. No doubt. But what happens when our skilled player really, truly connects with both drivers? This is where we get to see the real raw speed potential of all that new tech. And this first number, wow, it's a bombshell. The Qi35 pumped out a massive 6 miles per hour more ball speed on those center strikes. Look, in the world of drivers where you're usually fighting for 1 or 2 miles per hour, 6 is a huge leap. Now, more speed is awesome, but it's useless if you have way too much spin. Well, the Qi35 also dropped the spin by a critical 200 RPM. That's the secret sauce, That's what gives you that powerful, penetrating ball flight that just bores through the wind and gets you tons of roll. So you add that extra speed and that lower spin together, and what do you get? A staggering 20 yards of extra total distance for our skilled player. Think about that. That's the difference between hitting a wedge into the green versus a 7-iron. Game changing. But here's where it gets really fascinating. For our average golfer, when we looked at their 5 best shots, the peak distance was almost identical between the two clubs. It was a dead heat. And that actually makes the Q35's amazing forgiveness on their bad shots even more important. For them, the upgrade isn't about hitting their best shot further. It's about making their worst shots so much better.
All right, so we've seen the tech, we've crunched all the numbers. What's the final call? Is the upgrade actually worth it?
Well, it really, truly comes down to what kind of player you are. If you're that skilled striker, the one who finds the sweet spot all the time and just loves that classic feel and smaller head, the SIM2 Max is still a fantastic club. It absolutely holds up. But if you're like most of us and you need help all across the face, the data is pretty undeniable. The Qi35 Max is the clear winner. The testers themselves summed it up perfectly. For the vast majority of golfers, the double-digit handicaps who are fighting to keep the ball in play, the forgiveness of the new carbon-faced technology is a significant, tangible improvement that will make a real difference on the scorecard. So let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. The SIM2 Max is still a phenomenal driver, no question. It proves that great design really does stand the test of time. But the Qi35 Max makes a really powerful case that new technology offers real, measurable gains, both in forgiveness for the masses and in pure, raw distance for the few who can really unleash it. And that leaves us with one final thought, a question for your own game. The numbers are clear, but hey, loyalty to a club you trust is a powerful thing. So you've got to ask yourself, what matters more to you? Are you playing for that absolute peak performance on your best swings, or are you looking for damage control on your worst ones? Your answer to that question? Well, that'll tell you everything you need to know.